Hello my fellow revolvers. Today we're going to make an absolutely beautiful dessert. We're going to make a fruit crumble. It's going to be done in maximum 15 minutes. It's a no-brainer and it makes use of our wonderful double-sided cast iron pan. So let's get started. We're going to start with our wonderful frozen berries. Now you can use any kind of fruit. I've got here a mixture of blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and it's frozen, right? So we just throw it into the pan. That's pretty much our first step done. I'm telling you, this is a no-brainer of a dessert. So I've just made a layer of our frozen berries here. I've used frozen berries because it's easy. I just got them straight out of the freezer. If you've got fresh ones, use apples, use blackberries, use raspberries. This is really just a basic recipe that you can play around with. So we put our berries into the bottom of our cast iron pan. I'm going to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Sounds a little bit weird, it works amazing. So we'll just put a little bit of balsamic vinegar in. We use the balsamic vinegar because it's got a sweetness to it and it's got a tartness to it, which works really nicely with the berries. So I always use balsamic vinegar with a berry crumble. Something like strawberries works really nice as well. So we just add a little bit of our balsamic vinegar in there, and the other thing I'm going to put is basil. And basil and berries is a wonderful combination. If you've never tried it, like blackberries and basil is a wonderful combo. And what's really good about this recipe is these are all ingredients that you're going to have around a pizza party anyway, right? You're going to have basil, you're probably going to have balsamic vinegar, you're going to have your 00 flour for the crumble. You know, so these are all ingredients you've got generally at hand. So when you're heating up the oven before your friends arrive, make a dessert, then that's one thing out the way. You can put it to one side, heat it up when everyone's had all their pizza, and it just works really well. Or even if you're not doing a pizza party, do this. I don't know why I'm cutting it with this. Even if you're not having a pizza party, make this recipe. It takes, you know, no time at all. So, bit of basil inside. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take our berries, we're going to put it into the Revolve, and we're going to get it nice and jammy and sticky. So that should take maximum 5 minutes. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take our berries, we're going to put them straight into the Revolve, and what's going to happen is those berries will defrost, then they'll go sticky and jammy, and they'll combine with the balsamic vinegar, and we're going to have a really nice fruity jam, and that should take no more than 5 minutes on maximum temperature. So let's put it in. Now while the berries are cooking in the oven, we can get on with our second part of the recipe, which is obviously the crumble. So it's a really logical recipe in the fact that this is cooking, we make the crumble, then we put the crumble in, we cook it. So that's why it cooks so fast. Right, we have our standard crumble combo, which is our flour, our butter, and our sugar. And I'm going to add one other special ingredient. Being an Englishman, crumble has always got a special place in my heart. It's a recipe that will always remind me of my grandma, and I always think of her whenever I make crumble. So this is a very special recipe for me. And who doesn't like crumble? Now when it comes to the ratio of the crumble topping, I'll be honest, I eyeball it, and it's always a little bit different each time. But I will obviously add the measurements for you guys. But really it's a case of just combining the butter, the flour, and the sugar with your fingertips until it's all nicely evenly combined. And if you feel like it's a little bit too wet, then add a bit more flour. And if it feels a little bit too dry, add a little bit more butter. And I always like to add one other ingredient to my crumble topping, and that is ginger powder. Ginger powder is amazing in crumble. It works really, really well. So not much, just a teaspoon, and you can add it, try it, see if you like it, and then start to add a little bit more ginger, because I promise you it's a really good combination. And just that little bit of ginger powder will add a really nice flavor to your crumble. Now, I'm pretty happy with this texture. The way I usually tell is if you can clump it into a ball and it makes a shape, then that means that it's ready, and then you just break it up. And you can have a few bigger bits, a few smaller bits. Ah, I'm excited because I can smell the berries now. That took about 5 minutes. Let's get the berries out and let's have a look at what they look like. Oh my goodness, this smell every time. Childhood. Have a look. Look how it's all nice and sticky and jammy. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we've got the most beautiful sticky jam now. And then we're gonna add our crumble on top. And we can add a few bigger bits and a few smaller bits. So you see, I just bring a few bits together and keep a few more bits crumbly. Just putting all that crumble on top. On the sides, just leave a little bit showing so that then that jam is gonna bubble up nicely. And that's it. An absolute no-brainer. So we're gonna put it back in the oven. I'm gonna use the fact that we have the lid here, and that what's gonna happen then is it's not going to burn the top of our crumble. So we put the lid on top, remembering that the bottom is really hot, and that just hurt my hand. And what we'll do is, when we put it in, the crumble will start to cook. We'll leave it in there for about 10 minutes, and then maybe for the last couple of minutes, we'll remove the lid just to give it a bit of color. And then that's it. So let's put it in. Okay, it's had 10 minutes. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Moment of truth. I'm not gonna lie, I just checked so I know it looks good. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness. Have a look at that. Now, if I was doing a pizza party, I'd put the lid back on, put it to one side, forget about it. When all your guests have finished their pizzas, bring it back out, give it another couple of minutes in the Revolve, get it nice and bubbly, and then serve it with some cold vanilla ice cream. Have it with a little bit of cream. I've got a bit of cream here, so let's get stuck in, shall we? Now, I cooked that with the lid on the whole time, and it got that nice color on the top of the crumble, so no need to remove the lid. There we go, we've got that wonderful jammy fruit. You've got the nice crunchy crumble that's a little bit soft underneath. Oh, gosh. Why does British food have such a bad rep, I wonder? I'm going to put a little bit of basil, like that, and then we're going to drizzle it with the cream. Go around like that, or you could use Greek yogurt, you could use vanilla ice cream. Depends as well on what kind of fruit you use. Just have fun with it. Use this as the base to making all sorts of different crumbles in the Revolve. Here we go, moment of truth. I'll see you later.